Welcome folks, one and all, to another Let's Play, this time on the Amiga 500. But what game, I hear you ask? There are so many on the Amiga. Well, this one is one that I most definitely grew up with, and it's called Dungeon Quest, a game released in 1990 by Image Tech. We're not going to read the blurb that comes up now because we don't have time, and we have it in this instruction manual that I have here, that I will be reading once we get into the game. This loads way too fast anyway. As you can see, it's about to load already. Image Tech. This is super quiet for me, but that's because it was super loud when I first tried to record this. Music's very nice though. Dungeon Quest is a text adventure game, released on the Amiga 500, and only the Amiga 500 as far as I can gather. A text adventure game that really punishes you for not exploring everything. It comes on 2 discs. An Astra pack I have here. It's in stereo as well, did you see that? Woo! Stereo sound! Welcome to Dungeon Quest, presented to you by Exolon of Fairlight 1990. Press any key. Game's loading. The first screen of the game. Specifically, this one. Weary from travelling and devoid of all questing gear, with a near shipwreck and a band of pirates to help you along towards poverty, you find yourself without sword or armament deep in a forest. And not just your ordinary adventures forest either. What little light there is from the densely overcast sky is barely able to penetrate the thick foliage overhead, lending a deep, grey mood to the forest's near darkness. The season is all wrong for this type of forestation, even in this far-off land. The leaves are oddly shriveled and scrawny as though diseased, yet they obscure the light. The density of the foliage doesn't make much sense for the gloominess of the place. Something strange and unexplainable, perhaps. But something is definitely wrong here. The ground is carpeted with leaves and twigs which crunch under your feet. You stand on a path which leads east and west. The forest is much too thick for travel in any other direction. I will now read to you the only item that we have in our inventory, part of a letter, because if we say read letter, it happily informs us that the text of the letter is in your program manual. Back in the day, if you could get away with not putting text in a game, they would not put text in the game. You received part of a letter from your long-standing friend. It appears that some of the pages are missing. It looks like this letter has gone through some hard times, and has the effect of draining everything of its life forces. Really, you cannot imagine a more evil place, and I am caught here, imprisoned by a need to find out what this evil is, perhaps to vanquish it, and yet torn by a desire to just let it all alone and escape before it conquers me. Alas, I have gone so far and delved into this deep force so much, that I fear it is no longer even possible to escape. I know it may be overstepping the bounds of our long friendship to ask you to risk yourself and your fortune to help me, but I fear I must. The gravity of this evil force and the mightiness of its grip are so indescribably overwhelming that it surely will be a short battle to the finish. The journey here is long and dangerous, but even so it will seem almost trivial to the evils that begin when you land here. I wait for you in the appointed forest. Together we... And that is the end of the letter. Put my discs and box away now. Now, remember that the game said that, Let's see what the game said. The game said that the forest is much too thick to travel in any other direction. There is another thing you will learn about this game. It lies. We are travelling south now. Yes, it just lies. We're loading the game now. Oh look! We travelled south. What do you know? The forest is very dense here, and the path, such as it is, has become very narrow and hard to follow. The start of a stream widens and flows southwest from here. what would we be doing? There's no bird. The bird's just there for scenery. The whole place seems a bit decrepit. However, why have we come into this place that we apparently cannot search? Because we're going to search here. You sift through the underbrush, under the rocks, and find nothing. And a lot of it. Ah, but over by a large tree is a strange shining object that looks somewhat promising. Closer inspection reveals a discarded teacup. Tea kettle. Okay, discarded tea kettle. Looks like your eyes are playing tricks on you. There's no kettle here, and no tea to put in one anyway. Just a peculiar shadow cast by dying leaves. There is a playing card, though. Perhaps it was the glint of the playing card that caught your eye. We're going to get that card. That card is very important. Remember how the game said that we could only travel east and west? And we couldn't travel south? Well, we can travel south again. And we are going to travel south again. There's another item that we need here. Want to guess what it is? You won't guess. Trust me. No way you could guess. You find yourself on an ill-travelled path which in a happier time might have been called a road. A tangle of branches and vines from either side is about to overtake the path, but it's passable for now. Nothing obvious for us to pick up. Not until we search. You sift through the leaves and only manage to stir the dust, finding nothing. But wait! A glint catches your eye, and off in the brush, almost totally buried, is an ancient, rusty broadaxe. We want that broadaxe. Whoa! This thing is heavy! Dull, too, which might account for the fact that it seems to have been discarded here. But we have it. We need that. More to the point, we're now going to travel east. The reason why I know which way I'm travelling is because I've played this game a lot. Oh look! You come upon what is left of a village. This little village exemplifies small villages of the sort about which adventure novels are usually composed. Hint, hint. This really is a typical small village, highly suitable for an adventure game. Hint, hint. Great, it's a narrator that's aware of the fourth wall. For starters, it's just like everything you've ever seen, except more decrepit. A few small buildings are dilapidated. The shacks have deteriorated into huts. Everything looks pretty dead, even more than you'd expect from the prototypical small village. There's no apparent activity other than dust stirring on the ground in small eddies. The sky is deeply overcast and doesn't seem to be interested in changing any time soon. In this bleak place, there is no need for a tourist bureau, and there isn't one. There is a stable to the east. From here, it appears to be boarded up. To the south is what looks like it might be a tavern. There's also a tiny inn nearby. A road of sorts leads west. Well, we're going to go east because the stables is somewhere we need to be. Definitely seems locked. You stand before an old but sturdy stable. Its doors and windows are boarded up, except for the large double door in front of you. The door is securely locked with a large padlock. There is a doormat underneath the door. Hey, I wonder what happens if I search under the doormat. Die! Sure enough. Yep, sure enough, off to the side of the big double doors is a doormat. It doesn't say welcome, but there's a key under the doormat, so you must be invited in. Important thing here, let's drop the broadaxe. Let's get the key. Even better, let's use the key. The key fits, but creakily. The lock is rusty and hard to turn. The key bends, and creaks, and bends, and then breaks in the attempt. But the rusty old padlock finally drops open, and the door creaks open, slightly eliciting a pained shriek from its unwilling hinges. With the door now open, we can enter. We are not yet going to get inside here. We're going to leave that for another video. There's a lot of typing in this game and a lot of reading, but it is an interesting game nonetheless that I think you should all experience. So, until next time, folks, we shall delve into the dungeon quest next time. Until then, I'll see you then.